please keep your eyes on your own paper. It's quite funny. I would watch these peasants go to the employer and jump up and down about workplace bullying and harassment, intimidation, discrimination, and unfair evaluations, and all these things that they would accuse the employer of, and then scream about how unjust it is and how wrong it is and how they have legal standing to now challenge them, and really like try to make the employer feel like they were so terrible for allowing this to go on.
These can look like refusing to pay overtime, forcing people to work off the clock, ignoring safety rules, or retaliating against workers who speak up.
And a lot of times we'd investigate. If it was a problem, they'd fix it. Sometimes they weren't even doing it. But these folks would literally dog out the employer. And then I'd watch them the very same day, same night, go do the same exact things to their employees. The same intimidation that they claimed that they were against. The same narcissistic bullying that they said they were so opposed to. The same harassment, right? This is a little lesson in nonprofits if you didn't know. The board acts for the members, the stakeholders, if you will. The actual authority is the organization, the entity. That's the person that the board's supposed to protect as well as the stakeholders. These people weren't doing that. They were just getting money. I caught a bunch of them. I cleaned it up. No need to drag up people who fix their situation. It's just what it is. I never really saw any good leaders. That's the crazy part. And I'm not going to call them out or anything like that. I just try to make them better, right? That's what we should do. We try to make folks better. Even in life, if someone wrongs you, or they wrong an organization, or they do something that is unethical, illegal, whatever it is, when that person or people make amends, when they say, I was wrong, I shouldn't have did that, take your lumps, you move on, right? But when people choose not to take their lumps, to not move on, and to just continue to sully the situation, I gotta go. I mean, public school unions got it bad enough, but y'all gonna eat yourselves from the inside out too? That don't make no sense. That don't make no sense, man. No sense. Ask yourself how much time you gave out of chasing your own goals and dreams and working on yourself to trying to tear me down. How much time you commit to that? It's crazy to me. People really think they get away with stuff. You don't believe in any afterlife, do you? You don't believe in karma, huh? You just believe that all that's mumbo jumbo. So the reason I worked so hard there is because public school employees mattered. They mattered in my life. It was a public school bus driver that got me in the military and got me up out of Mississippi. When I had nothing going on in my life, that man talked to me about the Air Force and supported me through it. When I was younger and I was getting my ass beat every day and barely able to hold myself together as a child, it was the teachers that asked the questions. Working for that union really filled me up because I felt like I was giving back to those two teachers that followed us to the mall. Yep, she followed us in second grade, who was concerned that I was pissing myself in class. The thing is, when your parents don't want to take accountability for shit, or don't want to get figured out because they can't handle the consequences of their actions, they just move you. So I got moved a lot. Some of y'all are my friends, you know. I was at your school, then another school, and then I back at this school, and then this school, and then over here, and I'm over there. It was all because they were trying to hide trauma. They were trying to hide the abuse, and they did a real good job at it. But remember, this is longer ago. This is before bullying became big and see something, say something. So, but that was why I worked so hard with that nonprofit, and they would rather tear it down, and I wasn't gonna let them tear it down. But once I realized that I'm working harder for these people than they're working for themselves, I was like, it's time to go. Gotta go. You ain't gonna drag me in with you. People want to be led by someone they can trust, by someone who cares about them. They want to be led by somebody with integrity, by somebody who's going to do the right thing even when it's hard. They don't want to be led by somebody else's ego. That's why they quit. That's why they leave, and that's why they burn out. So if you're going to keep burning out people, just get out of the game. Nobody needs to be burnt out. I'm sure they probably tried to blame all kind of shit on me. Why wouldn't they? One, incoming leader, you get to blame the past leader for not illegal shit, okay? You get to blame them for some bad decisions. That goes without saying. You should get the chance, at least for maybe 6 months, a year. A year might be too long, I don't know. But you should get to blame the past leader, because you're trying to figure it all out, and this leader might have not done anything right, but you're trying to figure it out, right? So you should be able to get away with that for a little bit. But then there comes a point where you can't blame that dude or gal no more. This is your shit. Run it. Yeah, if you cannot follow a mission, if you can't be authentic, and if you're in a situation just because of your ego and you want that to be your legacy, that you took somebody out or made somebody quit, or you burned this employee out, and that is your claim to fame, I'm telling you, you're not going to do anything in this world that's going to make any kind of impact, that's ever going to make anybody's life better. None of that. You really think that you're going to get one over on somebody. That's what you like to do. Make you feel big and bad and powerful to tear people down, huh?